Today you will finish drawing your tree. But first I am going to do a quick review for those of you who were not here last week. So to begin, you're going to draw 7 dots. Start with the first 2, then 5 more. Noticing they are close to the edge, but they are not perfectly symmetrical. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Next, I'm going to do my roots. Now the roots can be very unique. There's no right or wrong answer for the roots of a tree. So you connect those 2 dots. Then with this dot, you will begin to make your first branch. Remembering that the edges of a branch are never straight, okay, and they are also never perfectly zigzag or swirly. So make sure you have varying lines and you do the rest of your branch. Also remember that branches always veer off, so they start wide and they veer off to get really thin. They are never just cut off. So after I've done my first branch, I'm going to go ahead and do my second branch to the farthest or the lowest branch. Same thing, varying lines. Now the thickness here and here should be the same as here and here. Veering off, I will do my next branch, coming off of here, up to the top right dot. Again, veering off. Then I will go to the side. And finally to the top left. Notice where I'm starting it down here. Then I'm going to go ahead and erase some lines using my kneaded eraser to make it look like some of the branches are coming out of the back or the front. I'm going to erase that line and then extend those lines. And I will do the same for this branch. And don't worry, these lines that you can still kind of see will get completely covered. Then I'm going to go ahead and add a few more small branches. Again, same thing. They always veer off. And you can erase some lines and leave the others. Adding branches. Now I'm doing this very quickly as a review. Now I can continue to add branches. For the sake of time, however, I'm going to move on. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make dark edges. Now if you think of where is the sun is always coming from one direction. So let's just say the sun is coming from the top right of your tree. So then you have to think about where it's going to be shaded and where it's going to be dark, and go ahead and add dark lines to all the places that you think are going to be dark, according to the sun being up here. Now some parts are going to be just kind of dark, skinnier, and some are going to be really dark. Now the roots are probably going to be very dark as they are kind of at the bottom of the tree and away from the sun. And I will continue to do that around all the branches. Some dark, some light. They should all be varying. Now most of you have done this, but I'm going to do this to my whole tree. Next, after I've done my whole tree in darkness, then I'm going to do medium. So again, I'm going to take my brush very lightly. This is very light, going up next to the dark. And I'm going to do that all over the tree, so it's going to look something like this. Now this part has dark and medium. Okay, and I could even go ahead and add some more darks and some more mediums for blending purposes. All of the branches. Constantly thinking about where the sun might be. Once you have all your dark and medium, you're going to go ahead and take your paper blending tool. And with your blending tool, you will blend these dark, medium, and white pieces together. Now, as I'm blending, you want to start with the trunk. You're not blending straight across. You are not blending up and down. You're kind of blending in somewhat of a smiley face. Kind of like a semicircle. This will help so that your trunk looks round. Again, blending the dark, medium, and light. Now, as you can see, you lose quite a bit of the white, so we will have to go back and fix that. As you can see, I'm kind of doing little semicircles, not too much, and I can always go back, blending in the dark. Now I'll do this everywhere. So I do this the trunk, and then you will also do this on the branches. Blending, blending, blending. This is also kind of a semicircle. Kind of like a C here in this case. It doesn't hurt to kind of go around the edges. So once you have blended and you are done with your entire tree for blending, is going to look something like this. So I have blended, again, kind of in this same motion. You can see the blended. I have blended everywhere. So all the small little branches and the big branches. Once you have blended everything, you can see that we kind of lost some of the white. So the sun is right here, up here, but there's not enough light spots. So I'm going to take my kneaded eraser. I'm going to go ahead and take some of that pencil off using my kneaded eraser on the edges that the sun would be shining on. So this would definitely be a light spot right here. So the kneaded eraser is it's nice because it does it subtly, meaning it's not too obvious. It just takes off a little bit at a time. And then you can see the eraser gets really dirty. This is where you knead it. You take it, you do not pull it apart, but you knead it, and then it's clean. You continue making bright spots on your tree. Once you're done with that, then you can always take this and kind of lightly go back over it if you want. Now I would continue to do this throughout my sun, or throughout my tree of where the sun would be. You can always use your finger. A finger is a great tool as well. Now our tree, we're almost done blending. One thing we do have to add, however, are little baby branches. If you look out at the tree in the window of the art room, there's a lot of small little branches. So in order to add those, you're just going to take your brush and have fun adding. Remember, they're rarely ever a straight line. Adding lots of small little branches. all over your tree. I could add even more, but I'm going to go ahead and also go with my paper blender and go over those branches. Now again, I'm not going to show you how to do every single branch, but you get the concept. So you add little ones, and then you can go ahead and blend them in just a little bit. Once you're done with this, then you're going to go ahead and do a base, so it does not look like a floating tree. To do your base, you're going to choose a horizon line, so where the ground starts. And again, the ground is rarely ever straight, so I'm varying my lines like so. The same thing, I'm going to create some areas that are darker. And some that are like lighter. Now I'm going to go ahead and even make some of those inside on the ground. You can make some little grass. Make them by the tree. And there's not really any right or wrong lines. Just think about natural. Think about what grass or ground, whether it's dirt, would look like. Again, you can add little green spots. Now because there's no leaves on our tree, obviously it's not really nice grassy grounds. We don't want to have it be all grass. And then you can go ahead and begin to blend. Okay. Sounds good. We'll go ahead and finish blending your tree, making so that this all is covered, and it'll end up looking a little bit like this.